to make ColdFusion even more alive this year?
I think just getting more support from the community, more support from the developers, and more support from corporate people that are, ultimately using the services and websites that we're building.
So what will it take to have more support from the community?
Probably just some really awesome work from the developers that people can't deny, won't be able to deny that that's a direction they should go in and support.
So sharing out what they've done, some
Sure.
cool projects. Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you, Bill. Great company.
It is.
So what will it take to make ColdFusion more alive this year?
Part of that is trying to revert the trend from people leaving the community and putting our eyes on new developers, bringing more developers in, reaching out to those just starting in web development. Everybody starts from somewhere, right? HTML, CSS. Now with command books, we have the tool to reach out to those guys that are learning, not necessarily ColdFusion, but are starting to take some initial steps towards ColdFusion. So when they decide to learn a dynamic language, they already have ColdFusion running on their computers, and that might make it easier. It is a lot of strategic planning, partnering up with universities as well. A lot of people learn how to develop in the university, right? So we need support from the big players in the community. That's the truth, because we need alone it's going to be a lot harder. Yeah.
Right, but together we can make this language super alive.
Yeah, if we work together, we have definitely higher chances.
Great. So what will it take to make CFML even more alive this year?
I thought you were saying to make CFML great again.
Well, no, that would be a Trump-esque comment.
I know. Well, what we can do, we were just talking about maybe bringing Lucy into the serverless environments and create a headless version of Lucy, make the startup of Lucy a lot faster, and promote it as good as we can, and maybe even offer curriculums for people so that they can easily enter. And we will still continue to be at all the conferences and promote Lucy with the Lucy Association. So hopefully, at least for now, it looks really good. We have really a lot of things to do already with lots of clients and customers, and that's great.
So what would it take for ColdFusion to be even more alive this year?
More conferences like this that kind of spread the word about the Beggar ecosystem. Where I work, we don't have an immediate opportunity to use this. It's going to take some mind shift to get this stuff in there, but the more people that know that these types of tools exist, I think the more popular and easier to use CF will be.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks so much, Dave.
Yeah, sure.
That's it.
So what will it take to make ColdFusion even more alive this year?
Oh, that's a good question. I think ColdBox is doing a great job of enhancing that and making it something that people want to use. It was already a great thing in the first place, but this just puts so many tools that I want to say inject in the ColdBox that make it even more spectacular. Do you feel that way?
Absolutely. It's the modern face of ColdFusion.
Right, absolutely. And so yeah. I mean, I already knew how to code in ColdFusion before, but with this, this is really another layer to it that is brings it to an evolutional scale, because ColdFusion was ColdFusion before. This is more, right? And I don't know how to really put it in the words, but this. It's really more layers on top of that really make it more spectacular.
ColdFusion.
So what will it take to make ColdFusion even more alive this year?
Well, like I mentioned in the keynote, I think there's several pieces to it. One is getting companies out of legacy hell. I think that's what gets CFML a bad name, is corporations that don't want to invest in modernizing their CFML. So I think taking a step toward modernization with modern tooling, introduction of microservices and Docker containers into their mix is going to really propel ColdFusion to the next level. So we as a tooling company are doing the best to give the best tools, but people really have to really invest in learning them and actually using them. And I think the second thing is for people to build cool apps.
And share them.
And share them. That's the most important
Yeah.
thing. I think that you can't go to somebody and say, hey, look at my if statement, or look at my for loop, or whatever. I think languages excel when they are presented in a nicer way, which is our applications. So that's where we build Content Box, and starting to build even more apps. So in order to make it ColdFusion more alive, I think developers really need to start sharing.
Great.
And building cool apps.
So what would it take for ColdFusion to be even more alive this year?
I feel there's a lot of good, third-party apps and plugins and modules of all sorts. Just a community working together, honestly, coming up with something and not necessarily competing against each other, but making sure that we could all work together. There's 101 ways of doing something, but if you have the whole community helping, doing bits and pieces, it will definitely be alive.
Well, now I want to ask a nested up, what will it take? What will it take for the community to work well together?
I don't know. I mean, as ColdFusion developers, we have always had a tendency not to want to release source code. For some odd reason, whether we were ashamed of our code or this, didn't want to be critiqued by it. But really, that's the open source is you're going to have to be open with it, and not mind, sharing, helping. And, but I think that's going to be the route that we have to take as a community. We've all written crappy code. Just let it go and learn from it.
Well, and making it open helps you improve it.
Oh, absolutely.
Language is being used out there today.
So what will it take to make ColdFusion even more alive this year?
What will it take? Well, the first thing it'll take, probably the biggest thing, will be activating ColdFusion developers and users out there to be proud of what they do and to want to better themselves, to learn new technologies, to go to user groups, even if they're not even ColdFusion user groups, and talk about ColdFusion and look into new practices, look into things like Docker and containerization and microservices. I think it kind of starts at the grassroots level, right? There's nothing that Adobe or Lucy can do to make all the ColdFusion programmers better programmers. So I think there's always room for self-improvement, and that's the best thing that could happen this year.
Yeah, your ColdFusion community needs you to help it grow.
That's right.
Yeah, cool. Well, thanks so much, Brad.
All right, thank you.